Okay, today I'm going to talk about a place in Canada, part of the Northwest Territories. It's called the Nahanni Valley. It's also known as the Valley of the Headless Men. This is an extremely wild and woolly area. It's very raw, very thick. It's got quite rugged terrain, extreme weather conditions, predators, and the unknown. Now, due to the remoteness up there in the Nahanni Valley, it's largely untouched for centuries. Large predatory grizzly bears, timber wolves. You don't see too many people wandering around out looking at nature in here because it's very thick, very wild, and very rugged. It was home to many indigenous tribes and was considered sacred territory. It still is. In fact, going there requires some permits. Some crew that was going to do a video documentary, it took them almost 4 months to get all the permissions that were required just to go film this place. So it's quite an unusual, interesting spot. Now, the Nahanni Valley has very many strange and unusual things. One of the spots in there is called the 200-Mile Gorge. This is spoke of as being quite a evil area. And they say that very few enter this because of the strange things that have happened there. People being beheaded, being savaged by wild animals, and this spot is rumored to be quite the center of some kind of evil energy. Now, the Nahanni River flows through these territories. The Nahanni Valley is only accessible by river, plane, or foot. There are deep canyons, hot springs, white water. There's supposed to be an extremely large, beautiful waterfall there. World record kind of waterfall. Back in 1908, there were a couple of brothers, Willie and Frank, and they were going to take off. They were going to become quite rich in the Nahanni Valley, because it's well known that there's plenty of gold in those hills. They went out in search of the gold, but they never returned. They were missing for a couple of years, and finally, after 2 years, they found the bodies of these brothers. They were found on the banks of the Nahanni River. Their bodies were there, however, their heads were not. Their heads were nowhere to be found. Men were murdered, decapitated, and left on the side of the river for the next people to come along, hunting their gold. As a hint, you might want to turn around while you still can. And several years later, there's a pair of brothers that vowed and bound and determined to make themselves rich, filthy rich. So they took off in quest of gold. Now, as they went back and forth for supplies and things, they relayed to their friends that they had found gold. Next, you know that their cabin ends up mysteriously burned to the ground. The remains of the body found among the ashes, same way, body, but no head. Around 1945, a miner from Ontario fell to the same fate. Body found headless in his sleeping bag. Now, this valley, the Nahanni Valley, give you an idea how far it is. It's about 311 miles from the nearest city, which is Yellowknife. It's stuck way, way out in the bushes. And it is definitely, quote-unquote, wild territory. They even had a person, a woman that went missing in Nahanni, 1926. She was out doing a little hunting near Flat River. Got lost in the wilderness and disappeared. Strangely enough, many months later, an Indian spotted her, and she was climbing a hill while totally naked, seeming to have lost her mind, acting totally wild. And so for the Nahanni Valley, as the count goes at this time, 44 persons have either died or disappeared while trying their luck in the Nahanni Valley. It's a strange, wild, unusual, and dangerous place. Probably one of the rarest places on Earth, because there seems to be some strange kind of energy there. We'll see. Thank you very much for listening. Please like, subscribe, share with like-minded friends. Feel free to leave a comment. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.